A legendary creature is said to still exist deep within Earth's dense forests, and according to the stories, no one who has ever seen it has lived to tell the tale. This adventure begins by revealing a thick, untamed jungle filled with narrow streams flowing through it. Inside this forest, a tribal hunter is shown tracking a lion, highly skilled and fearless, knowing exactly how to trap even the most dangerous animals. Lions and tigers do not scare him at all, especially since he carries venom-coated weapons capable of killing any creature instantly. As he stays focused on his hunt, he suddenly notices the wild animals around him fleeing in panic, as if disturbed by something unseen. The hunter freezes when strange sounds emerge from behind the bushes, sensing that something is terribly wrong. This has never happened before, yet now he is running for his life, terrified by something unexpected he has witnessed. In moments, a massive force crashes through the forest, destroying trees in its path, moving with unbelievable speed. It catches the hunter and brutally kills him, leaving him screaming helplessly until the end. What kind of deadly creature could this be is a mystery that will soon be revealed. The story then shifts to a massive pharmaceutical company where a high-level board meeting is underway. A company manager confronts a man named Warden, informing him that he has failed to deliver results. Warden's company had been contracted to develop medicines capable of restoring youth and curing serious illnesses, which promised enormous profits, but no progress had been made so far. As the board prepares to cancel the contract, Warden asks his associate Jack to present something important. Jack activates a presentation and announces that they have made a unique discovery, displaying an image of a rare plant known as the blood orchid. This is no ordinary flower, as Jack explains that a small sample previously collected revealed extraordinary properties. Research showed it could be used to create powerful medicines that slow aging, cure multiple diseases, and even treat cancer. The problem is that the blood orchid grows only in the dense forest of an abandoned island and blooms just once every few years for a very short time. If they want it, they must act immediately, as the blooming period has already begun. Impressed by the revelation, the board members agree that the plant must be obtained at any cost, offering unlimited funding and ordering Warden to leave with his team right away. With full financial backing secured, Warden and Jack quickly assemble a 6-member team and set out for the island. They manage to reach it, but the real challenge begins when they must travel further by boat to a location deep in the middle of the water. No local fisherman is willing to go near that area due to intense fear, causing repeated delays. Just as hope starts fading, they encounter a fisherman named Will. After hearing about their mission, Will agrees to take them through the dangerous waters and bring them back safely, unmoved by the risks, especially with the promise of a large payment. Will doesn't ask many questions and immediately seats everyone before steering the boat deeper into the water. It's revealed that Will owns a small, adorable monkey, but once the boat moves into the river, the monkey is left behind because it was busy eating fruit. As soon as the little monkey realizes this, it panics and starts running toward the boat through the forest, unaware that something terrifying is following it. The monkey becomes so frightened that it starts screaming loudly, and this unknown presence turns out to be the same mysterious creature shown at the beginning of the story, though the reason behind its violent behavior will be revealed later. The scene shifts back to the boat, where Will anxiously searches for his missing monkey. At the same time, Kate, the team's leader, is shown trying to contact someone using her phone, but there is no network. She moves to the edge of the boat to get a signal when she suddenly slips, causing a side door to open and throwing her into the river. Kate cannot swim properly, and when the others realize what's happening, they rush to pull her out. Just as she's about to escape the water, a crocodile suddenly appears and attacks her, trying to drag her under and kill her. Kate struggles desperately to survive until Will bravely jumps into the water with a sharp knife and attacks the crocodile repeatedly, aiming for its eyes, the most vulnerable spot. The crocodile finally releases Kate and dies, allowing Will to bring her safely back onto the boat. Everyone is shocked by Will's courage, realizing he saved a life, though none of them are prepared for the dangers still ahead. As the boat moves forward again, the dead crocodile's body is seen floating on the water, but suddenly something massive drags it underwater and disappears. Moments later, something falls from above onto the boat, revealed to be Will's monkey, completely panicked, which immediately rushes to Will as he tries to calm it down, unaware of what it has just witnessed. Will then continues navigating toward the target location using a map, but as night approaches, heavy rain begins, and Will realizes that rising water levels could cause flooding along their route. He warns Jack that taking this direction is dangerous, explaining that although it's faster, it carries serious risks, while a longer route through the forest would be much safer. However, Jack refuses to take any chances because only 1 week remains before the rare plant can survive, after which it will not bloom again for years. That's why Jack clearly tells Will to take the shortcut route. Will agrees, but warns them that he will charge extra and that any damage to his boat will have to be paid by them. Jack knows how valuable the plant is, so he accepts the terms. Will also makes it clear that everyone must strictly follow his rules if they want to stay alive. They continue moving slowly through the water, but by morning, one of Will's companions notices something is wrong and struggles to control the boat. Debris is scattered all around the water, as if another boat had passed through and been completely destroyed. Will takes control and reverses the propellers to identify the issue, but even after changing direction, the boat becomes harder to control, as if some unseen force is pulling it forward. In a river, that kind of pull means only one thing: a waterfall ahead. Will realizes the danger, but it's already too late, and the boat plunges down from a great height, shattering badly on impact. Thankfully, everyone survives and quickly climbs out of the water to dry themselves. Will looks devastated because the boat had been with him for years, but now it's too damaged to recover. With no other choice, he pulls out a map and explains that he has a friend living nearby who owns several boats, and borrowing one from him is the only way to reach their destination. However, there are two ways to get there. Traveling by river would take 2 days, while going through the forest would get them there by evening. Naturally, Jack's team chooses the shortest route. Will contacts his friend using a satellite phone, explains how his boat was destroyed, and asks for another one. His friend takes advantage of the situation and demands a high price, leaving Will with no option but to accept the deal. Now the only task left is to lead the team through the forest to reach his friend. One by one, they begin crossing the river and moving into the forest, with Will leading the way, gripping a knife in his hand to protect the group from any wild animals. One of the team members suddenly freezes in shock, sensing that something is moving beneath the water. He asks everyone to stop and look carefully, but at first there seems to be nothing there, so the group ignores him and continues forward. Moments later, the member at the back is suddenly dragged underwater, screaming in terror as everyone rushes toward the sound. He disappears beneath the surface, and when he finally resurfaces, he is in horrific condition. That's when they realize a massive anaconda is in the water. The enormous snake attacks the man and devours him completely, leaving everyone stunned. No one has ever seen an anaconda that large before, and even Will is shocked by the sight. Acting quickly, he leads the rest of the team toward the forest to escape, though one member has already been killed. After traveling a short distance, they reach a safer spot, where despair and fear are written on everyone's faces. The team demands answers, and Will explains that anacondas can grow to terrifying sizes and that it's possible even larger ones live in this area. However, he reassures them that the snake likely won't attack again soon, since after feeding, an anaconda usually takes several days to digest its prey. Until then, they should be able to move forward. Still, after such a brutal attack, no one has the courage to continue. Kate, the team leader, declares that she is ending the mission immediately, never expecting to lose a team member. Jack strongly objects, insisting they must complete the mission or risk losing the company contract. At this point, the danger feels far more important than money, so the group decides that their priority is to reach Will's friend, get a boat, and leave the area. Will agrees but clearly tells Jack that once they reach his friend's boat, they will head straight back to the harbor. Jack becomes angry, accusing Will of breaking the deal, but Will refuses to bargain with human lives, insisting everyone's safety comes first. He also warns that there may be even more anacondas ahead, pushing the group to move together cautiously. As they continue deeper into the forest, Will confesses to Kate that he had warned Jack about these dangers beforehand and that Jack had promised him a large sum of money in return for staying silent. This admission fills Will with guilt, and he apologizes to Kate. With no other option left, the team presses on through the dense forest toward Will's friend. After hours of traveling, one member suddenly panics as severe pain spreads across his stomach. When he shows the others, they discover his body is covered in dangerous leeches, clinging tightly and sucking his blood non-stop. The leeches refuse to let go, and the entire team struggles desperately to remove them and save him. But what if we ever face a situation like this in real life, where multiple leeches attach themselves to our body inside a forest? What is the correct way to deal with it? A normal person would panic and try to pull them off immediately, but that is a serious mistake. When a leech is attached, it keeps sucking blood using its sharp jaws, and if you forcefully remove it, those jaws can remain stuck inside the skin, leading to severe infections and, in the worst cases, even death. Another commonly known method is sprinkling table salt on the leeches, which makes them release their grip. The same effect can happen with alcohol-based hand sanitizer, vinegar, or soap. However, this method also carries a hidden danger that most people ignore. Studies have shown that when salt is applied, leeches vomit the contaminated blood inside them. Imagine a leech attached to your body and, due to salt, it injects all that dirty blood back into your system, potentially causing extremely dangerous diseases. The safest and simplest method is to stay calm and allow the leech to continue feeding for a short time. Once it is full, it will detach and fall off on its own. In this moment, however, Will's team member is quickly calmed down, and all the leeches are removed as fast as possible. The team is exhausted from the journey and stops to rest for a while. As Warden is about to put his shoes back on, Will's assistant suddenly stops him, grabs the shoes, and violently shakes them, causing a dangerous spider to fall out. He explains that if this spider had bitten Warden, his entire body could have been paralyzed, as it is one of the most lethal spiders. Jack immediately traps the spider inside a jar, claiming it could be extremely useful for creating paralysis-inducing drugs, showing that even in a critical situation, he is focused only on profit. Realizing they cannot afford to waste more time resting, the group moves forward again, following Will's lead. Nearby, they finally spot Will's friend by the river, the very person they were heading toward, and they are now extremely close. Will's friend is heavily drunk on his boat when sudden movement erupts in the water, revealing another massive anaconda attacking him. The giant snake severely damages the boat and devours Will's friend, completely destroying the vessel and causing a massive explosion-like crash that echoes through the area, revealing the location to Will and his team. Will rushes to the scene only to find the boat completely destroyed and his friend gone, confirming he is dead. The situation becomes even worse because that was the last available boat. After a brief pause, Will's assistant comes up with another plan, explaining that tribal people live nearby, and if they can somehow reach the tribe and ask for help, they may be able to obtain a boat from them. They have no other option, so they gather themselves and move deeper into the forest. As they walk, they keep imagining what the tribe might be like, having heard stories about tribes that even eat humans, and if they were attacked, it would be a serious disaster. As they push forward, Will is suddenly shocked when his friend's dead body drops from above. The corpse is covered in saliva marks, making it clear that the anaconda had swallowed him and later spit him out. Will explains to the group that anacondas only fully swallow their prey when they sense danger nearby, because once they eat, they become weak. Based on his experience, Will realizes this is not the same anaconda they saw earlier, it is even larger, and there may be more than one in the area. Multiple anacondas entering the same territory clearly means they are in a breeding phase, making the situation extremely dangerous since an attack could happen at any moment. Realizing the risk, Will and his assistant rush toward the tribal area as quickly as possible. Soon, they reach a tribal village where human bones are scattered everywhere, suggesting people were eaten raw. The most shocking sight is a dead anaconda lying there, its body pierced with spears and arrows, proving the tribespeople killed it. The entire team is terrified and wants to escape the area immediately, but Jack remains focused only on obtaining the flower, even if lives are at risk. This causes the team to split into two groups, with Jack standing against everyone else. The others begin building a small raft so they can leave the area before morning. Meanwhile, Warden approaches Jack's bag and discovers a strange box inside it. When he opens it, he finds a gun and a satellite phone, which actually belonged to Will's friend whose boat was destroyed. Jack had secretly taken them so no one could contact the outside world and interfere with his mission. Warden immediately realizes Jack has been hiding the truth and tries to use the satellite phone, but Jack suddenly appears from behind and sees everything. Without hesitation, Jack releases the captured poisonous spider onto Warden's body, and it bites him instantly. Warden's body begins shaking violently, and it becomes clear that he will soon be completely paralyzed. Jack quickly retrieves the spider, grabs the satellite phone and the gun, and leaves. Shortly after, Louie arrives and finds Warden unable to move, noticing the spider bite mark on his body. She immediately understands that Jack was the last person with him and must have released the spider. Louie confronts Jack angrily, demanding to know why he did it, while Jack pretends to act completely innocent. Suddenly, Warden's screams echo through the forest, and when everyone rushes toward the sound, they witness a massive anaconda swallowing him whole, killing him instantly. As the group turns to capture Jack, they realize he has already escaped on the raft they built and is far out on the water, leaving them trapped. Determined to complete his mission at any cost, Jack contacts the authorities using the satellite phone and requests an immediate rescue. The scene then shifts back to Will and the remaining team members as they desperately try to escape the area, eventually finding a narrow cave that leads to an exit on the other side. As they make their way through, one teammate gets stuck inside the opening, and strange noises begin coming from behind, forcing the others to pull him out with great effort. Moments later, they discover the same anaconda emerging from the hole, its sharp fangs exposed and ready to attack, but Louis reacts quickly and slices off the snake's head with a knife, killing it instantly. Although they feel brief relief, the danger is far from over, as another anaconda suddenly appears and drags away the same teammate who had been trapped earlier. Everyone is stunned, but Will immediately runs after him while the others stay alert, now fully aware that multiple anacondas are lurking nearby and can attack at any moment. From above, they see the massive snake coiled tightly around their friend, preparing to kill him, when Will leaps in and drives his knife straight through the anaconda's head, killing it and forcing it to release its grip. They manage to pull their friend down safely, but the threat remains overwhelming. The story then explains what to do if someone ever faces such a real-life situation where an anaconda has fully wrapped around their body. An anaconda's grip is powerful enough to crush bones, and struggling or breathing heavily only causes it to tighten further, potentially even breaking the skull. However, survival is possible by following key techniques. The most important step is to protect the neck and chest, as these are the primary targets during an attack. Tucking the chin down, keeping the arms close to the chest, or placing a backpack or solid object like a piece of wood in front of the chest can provide crucial protection. However, Will and his team are facing an even worse situation. On the other side, Jack is shown continuing his journey and finally reaching the exact spot where the blood orchid plants grow, meaning he is moments away from taking it and escaping. What he doesn't realize is that Will and the others are nearby, secretly watching his every move. They can't attack yet because Jack is armed with a gun, so while he is distracted, Louis and Kate attempt to steal his raft and escape. They manage to reach it, but Jack notices them and immediately confronts everyone at gunpoint. When no one is watching, he even shoots Will in the shoulder, leaving him screaming in pain on the ground. Jack then threatens Louis, ordering her to retrieve the blood orchid for him. She refuses at first, knowing how dangerous it is, because directly beneath the plants, several anacondas are breeding, and disturbing them during this time guarantees death for anyone who falls. Louis doesn't want to do it, but Jack threatens to kill her teammates, forcing her to cross using wooden support and somehow reach the other side. She places the blood orchid inside her bag and, as she carefully returns, threatens to throw the plant down below, but Jack once again aims his gun at her friends, leaving her no choice but to hand it over. Jack is overjoyed as he finally holds the priceless plant in his hands, but his victory is short-lived when Will attacks him from behind, punching him hard and causing the blood orchid to slip and nearly fall before getting caught at the edge. At the same moment, the impact knocks the poisonous spider hidden inside Jack's backpack loose, sending it crawling out. A short time later, when Jack picked up his backpack, the same spider crawled out and bit him, but by the time he realized what had happened, it was already too late. His entire body became instantly paralyzed, and he began to fall. Will and the others even tried to help him, but Jack couldn't move a single limb. He fell straight down with the backpack into the middle of the anacondas. Meanwhile, Louise, who was still trapped, slowly started climbing up, but due to bad luck, she also slipped and fell. It was shown that the anacondas sensed this immediately and launched a direct attack on Jack, killing him on the spot. This chaos gave Louise a chance, and she slowly began climbing again, but another anaconda was also climbing upward with its eyes locked on her, ready to attack at any moment, meaning Louise had to be saved no matter what. Kate quickly reached the spot carrying a fuel container and used it to attract the anaconda toward herself. The massive anaconda immediately attacked Kate, but she managed to throw the fuel container in between, hitting its mouth and soaking its mouth and body in fuel. All they needed now was fire to burn the anaconda. Will, badly injured and barely able to move, picked up a gun and tried to shoot, but there were no bullets left. Just as the anaconda was about to attack again, their teammate, who had once been caught by the anaconda, appeared with a flare gun and instantly fired it into the anaconda's mouth. The flames ignited the gasoline at once, causing the anaconda intense pain before it fell down. As soon as they moved closer to the second anaconda, a massive blast went off, and the explosion began destroying the bodies of all the anacondas in the area. The force of the blast also caused the rocky ledges holding the orchid plants to collapse, crushing the entire group of anacondas beneath the falling stones. Their threat was almost completely wiped out. With no time to lose, Will and the remaining survivors jumped onto the raft to save their lives and left the area as soon as morning arrived. Will's monkey was safe with Kate, and Louise was tending to Will's wounds, clearly showing how much she had started to care for him. All four of them escaped unharmed and decided never to return to that place again. And this is where our story comes to an end.